Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm Chris from iLather.com, and today we're going to use Tim's old school lime as well as the old ABC razor made for Gillette. Very old razor, but very nice. Tim's old school lime is one of my favorite lime scents. In fact, it probably is my favorite lime scent. Nice strength, about 6.5 to 7. Sadly, Tim doesn't make soaps anymore, but if you happen to see this somewhere, it is a great one if you're a fan of lime. Absolutely top notch. Let's wet the face before we get going. Stay tuned. All right, and today we're using the old school Plisson. This is probably the brush that was responsible for really kicking up synthetics to high gear because of the softness of this knot and its ability to whip up a great lather. Now with this type of knot, you don't want to mash down too far, because if you do, the soap will go up towards the handle. You just want to let it do its work gently, easily. Again, this is not a brush for exfoliating your face, but I am not a fan of that to begin with. Trying to use a brush for that purpose. I generally take a shower before shave, so I scrub my face and do the exfoliation there. And I don't use a brush for that purpose. Now, some folks really like a lot more backbone, a lot more pushback, and so on. This brush, of course, does not have that. This one just feels like a cloud on your face. And when we first bought these years ago, they were $59.99. They were 60 bucks. Now you can get basically the same knot for sometimes 10-12 bucks. It's pretty wild what has happened, but that's what competition will sometimes do. The Razor Rock offerings are very nice. Maggard has some, Sterling has some, and they're all inexpensive and they all work great. Okay, again, ABC razor here. This one, of course, was sent to me by Don the Navy Goat a long time ago. The razor's about 100 years old. It is beautiful, and it does a great job. It's a little thin. The metal's a little thin, but it still works great. I just make sure not to tighten it way down, because again, it's pretty thin, and probably wouldn't be hard to break it or bend it. But really, what a beautiful razor. And if this razor could talk, I'm sure it would have stories to tell. It would be quite interesting to hear the history on this guy. Really nice. And Tim's soap is working beautifully, as always. It's wonderful stuff. Sadly, he's not in the soap making business anymore, because he had other, career things to do and family things to do and all the rest. But it's a really good soap, and this one is one of my favorites. Great Peach was fantastic too. Or I could name a ton of them, but does not make them anymore. But if you have to see it pop up, you might want to consider snagging it. All right, first pass was excellent. Stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 2. All right, here we go, pass 2. And I didn't get all the soap off, but mainly I'm just trying to rinse the debris off when I'm doing a rinse. I'm not trying to get all the soap off. Just mainly want to get those whiskers that have been cut and are perhaps loose still on my face off, so it doesn't interfere with anything. That's why I do the rinse, in addition to adding moisture. Leave the some of that moisture on my face, so you'll have some. There went a glob of lather. Again, Plisson, what a story that was. That really kicked off these Plisson type knots, and really, ultimately was responsible for pushing the cost way down. They did reduce. L'Occitane was where we got these. Reduced the price to 30 bucks, and people went nuts because we had been paying 60, and then the vendors artisan vendors went out and sourced these things, and the rest is history. Now we can get these great brushes that require zero maintenance for sometimes, 10 or 12 bucks, which is really excellent. Most times they're somewhere around, 20, but they are like the Big Bruce, and some of the Razor Rock offerings were less than 20 bucks, which is fantastic. And boy, this soap is really wonderful. Really enjoy the scent. It is absolutely superb. And the razor's doing a great job. The blade today, by the way, is Polsilver, which has done a nice job for me. A while back that was rumored to be discontinued, but now I'm hearing it's not, or at least that's what Shave-a-thon tells me. He's the guy who seems to be on top of all these things. I tell you what, folks, I'm tired this morning because my son had 2 friends over last night, and he failed to do his job as a host, which is to keep the other kids in line. 2 o'clock last night, they were running all over, stomping all over the house, making the dogs bark, and I had to get up and let them know that was not appropriate for 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I couldn't get back to sleep afterwards. So what I should do right now, it's about 7 something now. What I should do right now is go upstairs with some pots and pans and clank them together upstairs and make all matters of noise and wake them up. That would be fair, but I won't today. But I will have a conversation with my son to let him know, hey, when it gets 2 o'clock, it's not time to be running and knocking things over in the house. And really, it's never a great time to do that inside the house. But I understand kids will be kids, but you got to tone it down a notch or two. All right, excellent second pass. Stay tuned. We'll come back for pass 3. And all right, here we go, pass 3. Amazing soap, amazing scent, wonderful razor, just great stuff. Couldn't be any better. Couldn't be any better. Again, a little bit back to my son. I found that, and it's this way with many kids. Although I will say it wasn't this way with me, because my dad, I knew he wasn't going to put up with it. Like fun for him, as long as he's having fun, or the moment he's having fun, he immediately loses all focus on things that are, rules and things that are supposed to be done. If it's fun, he just he throws caution and everything else to the wind. Because I've told him before, when he has companies, it's okay for kids to be kids. I get that, but pick up your cans. We have hardwood floor, and there's soda cans turned over with sodas. Before, not just 1, but 5, 6 plates of food upstairs, in his room, on the floor. Just say, look, it's okay to have fun and all these things, but you have to stay cognizant of the rules. And as host, we've told him it's your responsibility to keep the other kids in line. And as soon as the fun is on, his hosting responsibility is out the window. So what I'm going to do is develop a strategy for reminding him of his hosting duties. And I'm sure that he will probably not like it. But that's the way it is. Somehow you have to get through to them. Sometimes it's tough with kids to find creative ways to get through to them. But I tell you what, on balance, excellent kid. But I tell you, when the fun comes, the work and the responsibilities out the window, and that can be schoolwork. Like if these kids come over and want to play in the afternoon, he's got homework. He's not going to do that homework. He's right out the door. And many kids are that way, but I have to figure out a better strategy for making sure he knows that the work has to come first. And so far, he has not learned that lesson. Work and responsibility comes first. And then if you've done your work and you've been responsible, then you can have fun, you know. He's only 13, so there's time yet. But if you think about it, not that much time. It's time for him to start learning these lessons because he doesn't have a ton of time before he's, you know, off to the next thing. All right, excellent 3 passes. Stay tuned. We'll come back for the post. All right, and in comes the magic made by witches. Thayers Witch Hazel. This one is lemon. Very nice stuff. Very nice indeed. Looks like it's gonna rain outside today, which is a bummer, but that's okay. I can do some things. I have some things I need to do inside too, so we will tackle those projects. And before I get to the aftershave, quick review of the equipment. ABC razor made for Gillette. Really nice open comb razor. Thank you, Don the Navy Goat, for that. He sent me that last year, along with a bunch of other stuff. Tim's Old School Lime, absolutely superb lime soap. If you can get your hands on it, it's excellent. No longer made, but if you see it somewhere, grab it. Old School Plisson, the one that really started off. Mula SPF, or excuse me, Mula STF, silver tip fiber, was the one that really kicked off synthetics, but when this one came along, it put it into high gear. All right, and today we're just going to use an inexpensive booster lime aftershave, which is nice. It doesn't hang around a long time, but it's got a nice lime scent. Just a simple aftershave, but smells great and does a nice job. Doesn't hang around, like I said. And just like that, we've had a wonderful shave this Sunday. Thanks everybody once again for joining us. Until next time, let's help make the entire world shave great once again.